The Four Disciplines of Execution by Chris McChesney, Covey, and Jim Huling. Introduction. Imagine this for a moment. It's a crisp Friday night. The stadium lights are blazing, casting long shadows across a perfectly manicured football field. The stands are packed, shoulder to shoulder, with thousands of fans buzzing with excitement. The home team is on the field, the players are ready, the whistle blows, and the game begins. But something is off. As the plays unfold, no one cheers. There are no gasps when a pass is almost intercepted, no roars when the running back breaks through the line. The only sound is the dull, quiet hum of thousands of separate conversations. The players on the field are giving it their all, tackling, running, throwing. But it's like no one in the stands even knows a game is happening. What went wrong? It turns out, a few weeks earlier, a hurricane had torn through the town and ripped the scoreboard clean off its moorings. And on this Friday night, it hadn't yet been repaired. No one in the stadium could tell you the score. They didn't know which down it was, or how much time was left in the quarter. A game was being played, but without a score. It was just activity. Motion without meaning. And so, the crowd lost interest. They disengaged. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like that in your own life? You're busy. You're running from class to homework, to sports practice, to your part-time job. You're tackling your to-do list. You're putting in the effort, but at the end of the day, or the week, or the month, you look back and you can't quite tell if you're winning. You know you were busy, but did you make any real progress on the things that truly matter to you? If that feeling is familiar, then you've come to the right place. Because today, we're going to talk about the invisible force that causes this feeling, and the simple, powerful system to overcome it. We're diving into a book called The Four Disciplines of Execution. Now, don't let the title fool you. This isn't just some stuffy corporate manual. It's a secret weapon used by some of the world's most successful companies, from Marriott Hotels to Comcast to Coca-Cola, to achieve their most important goals. But the reason we're talking about it today is because its lessons are universal. They apply to a student trying to ace their exams, an artist trying to finish a masterpiece, or anyone trying to achieve something truly important in the face of life's endless distractions. The authors, Chris McChesney, Covey, and Jim Huling, spent years working with thousands of teams and discovered a profound truth. The reason most of us fail to reach our goals isn't because we aren't smart enough, or because we don't work hard enough. It's because we don't know how to fight the right enemy. By the end of our time together, you will understand the four simple rules that allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. Not by working harder, but by working differently. You'll learn how to identify your single most important goal, how to find the secret levers that guarantee progress, how to create a game you can win, and how to build a rhythm of success that becomes unstoppable. This isn't just about getting things done. It's about making a real, measurable difference in the things you care about most. So, let's begin. Let's talk about the real enemy of execution. Book summary. There is a hidden enemy that sabotages almost every great plan you'll ever make. It's the reason your New Year's resolutions fade by February. It's the reason that brilliant idea you had for a project is still just an idea, gathering dust in the back of your mind. This enemy is powerful, it's relentless, and the most dangerous thing about it is that you're living inside of it right now. The authors of The Four Disciplines of Execution give this enemy a name. They call it the whirlwind. The whirlwind is your day job. It's the massive amount of energy you have to spend just to keep things going. It's the homework that's due tomorrow, the emails you have to answer, the chores your parents asked you to do, the phone calls you have to return. The whirlwind is made up of everything that is urgent. It screams for your attention, right here, right now. And herein lies the fundamental conflict of our lives. Your most important goals, the things that will truly move your life forward, the things that represent a real breakthrough, are rarely urgent. Learning a new skill, getting in shape, building a meaningful relationship, studying for a final exam that's a month away. These things are incredibly important, but they don't scream at you. They whisper. And when urgency and importance clash, urgency wins every single time. The book makes it clear, the whirlwind isn't bad. It's necessary. It's the stuff that keeps your life running. If you ignore the urgent, it can kill you today. But if you only ever focus on the urgent, you will never make progress. You'll just be spending all your energy trying to stay upright in the wind. The great challenge, then, is not to eliminate the whirlwind. That's impossible. The challenge is to execute your most important goals in the midst of the whirlwind. This is where most of us fail. We launch a new goal with excitement. For a few days, we're motivated. But then the whirlwind roars back. The new goal doesn't die with a loud bang. It dies with a quiet whimper. It's slowly suffocated by the endless demands of the day-to-day, until one day you find yourself saying, "Oh yeah, I was going to learn guitar. I wonder whatever happened to that." The whirlwind happened. And it will win every time, unless you have a system. A different way to operate. And that is what the 4 disciplines are. They are a simple, repeatable, proven system for executing your goals in the real world, a world filled with chaos and distraction. So, what is this system? Let's break it down, one discipline at a time. The first discipline is perhaps the most difficult, because it goes against every instinct of an ambitious person. Discipline 1. Focus on the wildly important. Think about the sun. Its rays are powerful, but spread out over the earth, they just provide gentle warmth. But if you take a magnifying glass and focus those same rays onto a single point, they can set a piece of paper on fire in seconds. That is the principle of focus. And it's the starting point for all execution. The authors found a startling statistic in their research: only 1 in 7 employees could name even one of their organization's most important goals. People were working hard, but they didn't know what the goal was. They were scattered. The first discipline requires you to fight the urge to do more, so that you can achieve more. As a leader, or even just as an individual, it's so hard to say no to a good idea. It feels like you're giving up. But the book offers a mantra that is worth writing down and putting on your wall: there will always be more good ideas than there is capacity to execute. You cannot do everything with excellence. So you must choose. Discipline 1 is about choosing your one, single, most important goal. Not 2, not 3, not 5. 1. The authors call this your wildly important goal, or WIG for short. A WIG isn't just another item on your to-do list. It's a goal so important that if you failed to achieve it, nothing else you accomplished would matter as much. It's the one thing that represents a true breakthrough. But just choosing a goal isn't enough. It has to be crystal clear. Vague goals lead to vague results. The book gives us a simple, powerful formula for defining any WIG, from X to Y by when. I want to get better grades is a wish. It has no focus. But, increase my GPA from a 3.2 to a 3.5 by May 31st, that is a WIG. You know exactly where you're starting, X is 3.2. You know exactly where you're going, Y is 3.5. And you have a deadline by May 31st. There is no ambiguity. It's a clear finish line. You either cross it, or you don't. The most powerful example of this in all of history comes from the 1960s. In 1958, the brand new agency NASA had a list of goals that sounded like they were written by a committee. Things like the expansion of human knowledge of phenomena in the atmosphere and space. Noble, yes. Inspiring? Not really. Measurable? Almost impossible. And the results showed it. Russia was launching satellites and sending cosmonauts into orbit while American rockets were blowing up on the launch pad. Then, in 1961, President John F. Kennedy stood before Congress and threw out all those vague wishes. He gave NASA one single, crystal-clear wig. He said this nation should commit itself, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. Think about that in our formula. From X Earthbound to Y the moon and back by when the end of the decade. It was audacious. It was terrifying. And it was the most powerful focusing goal ever set. Suddenly, every engineer, every scientist, every technician at NASA had their magnifying glass. They knew the wig. And this singular focus unleashed a wave of energy and innovation that changed the world. That is the power of Discipline 1. It's about choosing that one goal that will make all the difference, and defining it with such clarity that everyone knows exactly what winning looks like. But having a target is only the first step. Next, you have to figure out how to hit it. And that brings us to the secret of execution. Discipline 2. Act on the lead measures. This is where the magic really happens. This is the discipline of leverage. Imagine you want to move a giant, heavy rock. You can push against it with all your might, day after day, and it won't budge. Your effort isn't the problem. Your strategy is. What you need is a lever. A small action that, when applied correctly, creates a disproportionately large result. In the world of goals, there are two kinds of measurements. The book calls them lag measures and lead measures. Understanding this difference is one of the most important insights you will ever have about achieving goals. A lag measure is the measurement of the result you want to achieve. It's the WIG. Revenue, profit, customer satisfaction, your final grade, the number on the bathroom scale, these are all lag measures. They are called lag measures because by the time you get the data, the performance that drove it is already in the past. You can't do anything about last quarter's sales number. It's history. It's like trying to drive a car by only looking in the rearview mirror. This is where almost everyone gets stuck. We obsess over the lag measures. We stare at the scale, we worry about our GPA, but we feel powerless to change it. A lead measure is completely different. A lead measure tracks the new, high-leverage actions you must take to reach your goal. They are the lever that moves the rock. A good lead measure has two essential characteristics. First, it must be predictive. Meaning, if the lead measure changes, you can predict that the lag measure will also change. Second, it must be influenceable. This is critical. It must be something your team, or you as an individual, can directly control. Let's go back to our GPA goal. Increase my GPA from a 3.2 to a 3.5 by May 31st. The 3.5 GPA is the lag measure. What are the lead measures? What are the predictive, influenceable actions that will make that lag measure move? You might choose two. 1. Complete 2 hours of focused, uninterrupted studying, 5 nights a week. 2. Attend every single class for all my courses. Notice how these fit the criteria. Are they predictive? Absolutely. If you study consistently and never miss a class, it is highly predictable that your grades will improve. Are they influenceable? Yes. You have almost complete control over whether you sit down to study or go to class. You can't directly control what grade a teacher gives you on a final exam, but you can control the actions that lead to a good grade. This feels counterintuitive. Our brains want to focus on the big result, the lag measure. But the secret of execution is to shift your focus. You still honor the lag measure? That's the ultimate goal? But you pour your energy and attention into the lead measures. You fall in love with the process, knowing that the process will deliver the results. The book shares a fantastic story about a national shoe retailer. Their wig was to increase the percentage of people who came into the store and actually bought shoes. This is called the conversion rate, and it's their lag measure. They brainstormed a long list of possible lead measures. Things like, greet every customer, or make sure all sizes are in stock. All good ideas. But through experimentation, they discovered the single most predictive, high-leverage behavior that drove sales. What do you think it was? It was measuring children's feet. Think about it. A parent comes in, stressed, with multiple kids who all need shoes for school. A friendly salesperson comes over, kneels down, and carefully measures each child's foot with one of those metal Brannock devices. They engage the kids, make sure the fit is perfect, and then bring out shoes they know will be the right size. For the parent, this small act transformed a stressful chore into a caring, helpful experience. The result? Sales skyrocketed. That one, simple, influenceable action, measuring feet, was the lever that moved their massive wig. Discipline 2 is about finding your measuring feet. It's about asking, of all the things I could do, what are the one or two things that will have the most impact? Once you've identified them, you found your leverage. So now you have a clear goal, your wig. And you have your levers, your lead measures. You have the design for a winnable game. But it won't feel like a game until you can see the score. This brings us to the third discipline. Discipline 3, keep a compelling scoreboard. Remember our football game? The players were playing, but nobody cared because there was no scoreboard. The authors state a simple but profound truth. People play differently when they are keeping score. And there's a subtle but important emphasis here. People play differently when they are keeping score. Not when the score is being kept for them, hidden away in a manager's spreadsheet. This is the discipline of engagement. The highest levels of performance always come from people who are emotionally engaged. And the fastest way to get there is for them to know, at any given moment, whether they are winning or losing. Now, you probably already have scoreboards in your life. A report card, a bank statement, a performance review. The book makes a crucial distinction between what it calls a coach's scoreboard and a player's scoreboard. A coach's scoreboard is complex. It's packed with data, analytics, historical trends. It's for analyzing the game. It's important, but it's not motivating for the players on the field. A player's scoreboard is radically simple. It's designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to motivate the players to win. A great player's scoreboard has 4 characteristics. 1. It must be simple. It should have just a few key pieces of information. A sports scoreboard doesn't show you every statistic. It shows you what you need to know to play the game: the score, the time, the down. 2. It must be visible. If the scoreboard is hidden on your computer or in a folder, it's out of sight, out of mind. It has to be in your face, where the whole team can see it all the time. The whirlwind is always competing for your attention. A visible scoreboard levels the playing field. 3. It must show both the lead and the lag measures. This is where the story unfolds. The players need to see the connection between their actions, the lead measures, and the results, the lag measure. When they see the lead measure bar go up, and then a week later, they see the lag measure line start to climb, it's electric. They realize, what we're doing is working. Our effort is directly moving the needle. This is where belief is forged. 4. It must tell you at a glance if you're winning or losing. The book calls this the 5-second rule. If you can't look at your scoreboard and know if you're winning or losing within 5 seconds, it's not a player's scoreboard, it's just data. To be winning, You need to know two things: where you are right now, and where you should be right now. A simple line showing your goal pace versus a line showing your actual performance instantly tells you the story. Are you ahead? Are you behind? The game becomes real. When you create this kind of scoreboard, something magical happens. The goal stops being the boss's goal or the company's goal. It becomes our game. The team starts talking about it, thinking about it, coming up with ideas on their own to move the score. It taps into a fundamental human desire, the desire to win. So, we focused on a WIG. We've identified our lead measures. And we've put up a compelling scoreboard. We have designed the perfect game. But we're not playing it yet. The first 3 disciplines set up the game. Discipline 4 is where you actually play it, week in and week out, no matter what the whirlwind throws at you. Discipline 4. Create a cadence of accountability. This is the discipline that brings it all together. It's the engine that drives the whole system. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever agreed to do something, like a new chore at home? For the first couple of weeks, you do it. But then your parent goes out of town for a weekend, they forget to check, and when they get back, they find it hasn't been done. When they ask why, a common response is, "Oh, are we still doing that?" It only takes a short break in accountability for a new habit to fall apart. This is true for a family, and it's even more true for a team at work or for yourself when you're trying to build a new habit. Discipline 4 is about creating a rhythm, a recurring cycle of accounting for past performance and planning for future success. This rhythm takes the form of a simple, powerful meeting that the authors call a WIG session. A WIG session is held at least once a week. It is fast, no more than 20 to 30 minutes. And it has a simple, fixed agenda. This is not your typical staff meeting where you talk about everything under the sun. In fact, there is a sacred rule: the whirlwind is not allowed in a WIG session. No matter how urgent other issues seem, this meeting is exclusively about the WIG. The WIG session has 3 parts. 1. Account. Each person on the team reports on the specific commitments they made last week to move the lead measures. Did they do what they said they would do? This isn't about shame or blame, it's a simple report. I committed to making 3 extra calls to prospects. I made 4. Here's what I learned. 2. Review the scoreboard. The team looks at the player's scoreboard together. Are the lead measures moving? Is that moving the lag measure? This is where the team learns. They celebrate successes. They analyze failures. They see what's working and what isn't, in real time. 3. Plan. Based on what they've learned, each team member makes 1 or 2 new commitments for the coming week. The question everyone answers is crucial. What are the 1 or 2 most important things I can do this week to impact the scoreboard? Notice the specificity. It's not what's the most important thing I can do. That question would just pull you back into the whirlwind. It's about what you can do to move the score. And here's the key. The team members come up with their own commitments. When someone chooses their own path, their commitment level is 100 times higher than when they are just told what to do. They are not just making a commitment to the boss, they are making a promise to their teammates. The accountability shifts from being organizational to being personal. No one wants to be the person who comes to the WIG session next week and says, "I didn't do what I promised my team I would do." This simple, repeating cadence is what keeps the goal alive in the face of the whirlwind. Every week, the team comes together, refocuses on what's most important, holds each other accountable, and makes a new plan. This weekly rhythm creates a just-in-time plan that is constantly adapting to reality, far more agile than any rigid, year-long plan that sits on a shelf. It forces the important work, the work on the WIG, into the gray chaos of the whirlwind. Let's look at how this all comes together through the story of Jim Dixon, the manager of a struggling grocery store. Store 334. The store was a mess. Employee turnover was high, sales were low. Jim was working 16-hour days, trying to do everything himself, constantly feeling like he was pushing a boulder up a hill only to watch it roll back down every single morning. He was trapped in the whirlwind. Then he learned the 4 disciplines. For Discipline 1, he and his leadership team set a WIG, improve the physical conditions of the store, cleanliness, stock shelves, etc. from a score of 13 out of 50 to 38 out of 50. From X to Y by when. For Discipline 2, they identified lead measures like reducing out-of-stock items and ensuring the aisles were always clear. For Discipline 3, they put up big, simple scoreboards in the back room for everyone to see. And then they launched. For the first 2 weeks, nothing happened. In fact, some employees, angry at being measured, tore the scoreboards down. The department managers were still lost in their own whirlwinds. Jim was frustrated. The system wasn't working. Then he had a breakthrough. He realized he was missing the most important part. In his next meeting, he didn't tell his bakery manager, Yolanda, what to do. He applied Discipline 4. He asked her, "Yolanda, what is the one thing you could do this week that would have the biggest impact on the store conditions scoreboard?" Surprised, she thought for a moment. "I guess I could clean out the back room. It's so cluttered that I have extra racks out on the floor." "Great," Jim said. "Just that one thing, Yolanda. That's it." He went around the room, asking each manager the same question. They didn't commit to fixing everything. They each made one, small, high-impact commitment that they chose themselves. The next week, they came back and reported on their commitments. The scores started to move. Slowly at first, and then with real momentum. As the store condition score went up, so did sales. Store 334, once the worst-performing store in the region, went on to become the best. Jim went from a burned-out micromanager to a true leader. He hadn't worked harder. He and his team had started working on the right things, with focus, leverage, engagement, and accountability. They had installed a new operating system. And that's the promise of the 4 disciplines. They are not just 4 good ideas. They are a matched set. They are an operating system for execution. Discipline 1 gives you the focus. Discipline 2 gives you the leverage. Discipline 3 creates the engagement. And Discipline 4 provides the accountability that drives it all home, week after week. It's a system that allows you, and any team, to conquer the whirlwind and achieve what truly matters most. Commentary. When you first encounter the 4 disciplines of execution, it's easy to dismiss it as just another business book. But as you spend time with its ideas, you realize it's something much deeper. It's a book about human nature. It's a book about why we so often fail to live up to our own potential, and it provides a clear, compassionate, and incredibly practical path forward. The most powerful idea, for me, is the concept of the whirlwind. It gives a name to that feeling of frantic, unproductive busyness that I think every single one of us experiences. It's not a personal failing, it's a condition of modern life. We are constantly bombarded with the urgent. And the book doesn't judge us for that. Instead, it respects that reality and gives us a set of tools designed to work within it. It doesn't ask you to become a superhero who can magically stop time. It asks you to carve out a small, focused, disciplined space where your most important work can happen, consistently. What I love about this framework is that it's built on principles, not just practices. Focus, leverage, engagement, and accountability, these are timeless laws of achievement. The authors didn't invent them, but they codified them into a simple system that anyone can follow. It shifts your entire mindset from "I hope I can do this" to "here is exactly how I will do this." it's also a deeply human system. By insisting that team members choose their own commitments in the WIG session, it puts ownership and autonomy back into the hands of the people doing the work. It transforms accountability from a top-down judgment into a peer-to-peer promise. And by making the score visible to everyone on a player's scoreboard, it taps into our innate desire to contribute to a winning team. It's not about pressuring people. It's about inviting them into a game that matters, and a game they can win. So, how can you start applying this to your own life, right now, even before you read the book? Here are a few simple actions you can take today. First, identify your personal whirlwind. For just 1 week, be an observer of your own life. Notice the things that pull you away from what you intended to do. The social media notifications, the quick emails that turn into an hour of work, the small, urgent tasks that pop up and derail your focus. Just write them down. Don't try to fix them yet. Just become aware of your enemy. Second, define one personal WIG. Just one. For the next 90 days, what is the single most important breakthrough you want to achieve? Maybe it's in your health, your studies, or a personal project. Define it using the from X to Y by when formula. Make it real. Make it measurable. Third, brainstorm your lead measures. What are the 1 or 2 actions that, if you did them consistently, would be predictive of you hitting your WIG? And are they 100% influenceable by you? For a fitness goal, it might be exercise for 30 minutes, 4 times a week. For a learning goal, it might be practice guitar for 20 minutes every single day. Don't overcomplicate it. What's your lever? And finally, create the simplest scoreboard imaginable. Take a piece of paper and draw a calendar for the next month. Every day you hit your lead measure, you get to draw a big, satisfying X through that day. Put it on your bathroom mirror or your bedroom wall. Somewhere you will see it every day. Your goal is simple: don't break the chain. The power of the 4 disciplines isn't in its complexity, it's in its relentless simplicity. It's a system that acknowledges the chaos of our lives but refuses to let it have the final say. It's a way to turn vague wishes into concrete wins, not just once, but week after week. It's a formula for making progress on the things that truly matter. And in the end, that feeling of making progress, of winning your own game, is one of the most satisfying feelings in the world. That was a summary of the 4 Disciplines of Execution by Chris McChesney, Covey, and Jim Huling. We certainly covered the main ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. It can show you the layout and the key landmarks, but it can't give you the feeling of actually walking the streets, breathing the air, and meeting the people. The real magic happens when you read the book for yourself. It's in the quiet moments, when a particular story or a simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time and attention. If anything we've talked about today has struck a chord, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning, it's an experience that can genuinely change the way you approach your goals and your life. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. It lets us know we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.